I am your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. This is a prelude to the video that has been incubating in my mind on delayed gratification, a principle that I applied with my wife to reach this level. There is a disservice that elderly men render to their children, their sons in particular, their sons. A disservice, a painful negligence of duty that elderly men don't have with their sons, a dialogue that they don't have with their sons, excepting the sons are very observant. I watched a video online in Nigeria now where things happen and they start trending. The people who did the videos or were video recorded will say it was content creation. I don't know if that video was content creation. There was a lady walking with her son in a very beautiful environment, either in Nigeria or overseas. And the boy was about 15 to 17. And the mother asked the boy a question. Would you date a woman like me? The boy said, no. That mommy, you are beautiful. Mommy, you are hardworking. Mommy, you are this and that. But that you are too masculine. That is to say, the boy has observed the father and the mother and seen that there were two men in the house. So simple question. Madam, can you dare ask your grown-up child, son, would you marry a woman like me? The father did not tell that boy, but that boy observed. A lot of men die in silence. A lot of men go to the grave with pain. Men don't cry, but worse off, they don't talk. And so the cycle of depressed, frustrated old men continues. And I woke up this morning and I felt like the richest man in the world. I slept late. It was my surveyor that called me up. If not, I would have woken up later. That is one privilege I enjoy now. I don't sleep early. I listen to a lot of philosophical discussions. I read, I write, I meditate, I pray. And then the rarest gift I enjoy is the privilege of not waking up early. That early morning sleep is very, very therapeutic for my body. And that's one of the reasons I decided not to work for any person after the age of 29. That's before I became 29. And I've not done work for any person till date. The next thing, I found out that I had no engagement with any person that I must compulsorily run after. Yesterday, I was my lawyer said I should join him to worry. And then I told him that I needed to dress well because people will want to take pictures with me and they will recognize me. I will do a video on the management of popularity. So we had a wonderful time. I came back home. People were willing to buy things from me. That's wealth. And as I sit down here, I'm not owing any bank. I am not owing any person. If I have any debts, it is to my cooperative, and I have money there to settle it. I don't need to validate myself. I don't need to do anything to impress any person. Most importantly, happiness is a native of my mind. I don't need to depend on somebody's body to be happy. I don't need to depend on somebody's brain to be happy, another being. I don't need to depend on somebody else's budget to be happy. I don't need to depend on somebody's blessing. Oh, my son is a commissioner. My father is a this. I was made this. No, 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 no. I don't solicit for patronage either by government or people. If you are buying from me, you are exchanging value with me. You're not doing me a favor. So, I am the richest man in the world because I am not running after money. What people pay to enjoy, people pay me to enjoy it. Excuse me. I've often said that when you pay your dues, men will pay your bills. But don't get addicted to sponsored comfort. I'll be flying to Lagos tomorrow, paid for. I'll be picked from the airport, taken to a hotel, paid for. I'll give a lecture, do a panel discussion, paid for. I will fly back, paid for. So I'm the richest man. I'm like my own small Donald Trump, where my bills are handled by the government. Is in the UK now. This is 2025 September. He's visiting the UK now. Everything paid for. Everything I'm wearing apart from the glasses, paid for. So I'm the richest man in the world. Gege is the richest man in Delta State. We are the richest man in the world. And Gege is making riches from the world. People are, I admire his bravery, admire his boldness, admire his uniqueness. So, growing up, there were some things I noticed with my father. Why he was struggling, you won't understand. You see a man, he has retired, but he's going to be a security guard somewhere. It's painful. You see a man, he has retired, security guard, he won't sleep in his house. You see a man who'll be opening gates for people in a hotel. Painful. See a man, he never drove a car, he never traveled to some places. Painful. And I reviewed my father's life. You see, don't just think that things will work out. No, you need to review, you need to reason, you need to reflect. Foolish people who never do well is that as they are listening to this video now, particularly church people, particularly stupid pastors who think that by being a pastor that God will take care of their needs and people will take care of their needs, as I just said. It is when you succeed and have resources that people listen to you, that people they give to those who have. To him who has, more will be given. And it's not by wishful thinking. You see, a stupid person now, as I'm talking, you won't internalize what I'm saying. You won't personalize what I'm saying. You won't analyze what I'm saying. You will just open your mouth, wow, quote one stupid scripture, you don't know the meaning. I disagree with you. I totally disagree with you. Ta! Who born you? What do you know? I totally disagree with you. Then they will divert here, quote one thing from Bible that has lost its relevance in contemporary technological era. So I found out that schooling was a defect in my family. There was no graduates. My father was no graduate. My mother, my other brothers messed up. When I asked my father, Papa, why are we poor? He said, because I did not go to school, but my son go to school. Speak the grammar I could not speak. Speak like Nnamdi Azikiwe, speak like K.O. Mbadiwe. My son, take this name far. My son, go far from home. Schooling. And I decided to go to school and to school myself. You can go to school without schooling yourself. And that's where my geography teacher, Mr. Bamuza, comes in. Valuable as knowledge is, the power to acquire it independently is more valuable. One of the defects in today's education, today's Christianity, today's society is the deficiency of knowledge. I saw a video that was sent to me from the United States. A young girl with her perineum, her pubic area, is the major asset she has to share, advertise. She wore a trouser and that area was popping out, even though clothed. They asked her, what is your marital status? When did you check, what is your marital status? She said one thing. So when did you check your marital status last? She said 3 months ago. Mumu. That one will become somebody's mother. No wonder we are decaying. So schooling, attending school and schooling yourself. Education becomes a scam when the knowledge you have is limited to the exams you did. I'm a medical doctor. I have a master's in social sciences, in public admin. But none of those things has brought you to me. It is knowledge acquired outside school. Number two, skills. My father had very primitive skills of patching mud houses and all that. Primitive skills. So I became a doctor, but I became a skilled general practitioner. Acquired skills. I was going from hospital to hospital, acquiring skills. The next thing is social standing. We had no social standing. There was a limit that we could arise. So when my friend's father asked me, whose son are you? We woma mono. Onyebu papagi. I couldn't answer. He knew I was Dr. Charles Apoki, the classmate of his son. But social standing, I made up my mind to create a social standing for my family. I made up my mind that I was going to be a global grandfather. I was going to have children, all grandchildren all over the world. And I sacrificed with my wife. God helped us. We walked in that direction. As I'm talking to you now, my eldest son, Dr. Mimi Apoki, did a video with his wife and my granddaughter. They are in Portugal on a holiday from Germany. They were driving to a town called Lagos in Portugal. I didn't know there was Lagos in Portugal until he shared the video with me. So they are there. And he's a German citizen. He is a surgeon. He's married to a German lawyer. And I told the lady, you're doing masters in law now, you're a public servant, get a PhD so that you can become the mayor of your town and eventually the governor of your state. Apoki. It's a deliberate act. Deliberate act. Told myself, I will not introduce myself to people. People will introduce themselves to me after that incident. So the next thing is I looked at my father, what he was doing. Is it sustainable? When I was practicing medicine, I studied the hospitals in Aba. One, if the medical director died, the hospitals just fizzled down. There was one, an orthopedic surgeon around Yellow Avenue. The thing just went down. Another one, a gynecologist along Abawere Road. After beautiful place, after the man died, there was one he had in his village. There was one along Azikiwe Road. After the man died, there was one along East Street. After the man died, before I left, they couldn't repaint the place. There was another one, very tall building along somewhere. And I found out that the doctors were walking into old age. And I asked myself, is this sustainable? And then I started itinerant ministry. I asked myself, is this sustainable? That I need to be traveling from place to place to preach. I need to wait for them to invite me. When I finish preaching, they will give you one kind of envelope. They say, may the Lord go with you, as if I came with Satan, that I have to be depending on honorarium. No. I started running a church. I found out that I needed to be stressing myself, preach to them, do this, as if I was doing them a favor. No, is this sustainable? And I was reviewing some of the big churches in Warri and this area. I found out that I was telling Barrister okay, my lawyer, when I saw one of them, the young man used to, now he's getting old. The place is, they couldn't complete the building. They were painting and all that was not done. And I saw another one nearby. I think they are roofing it. And I told my lawyer that when you start running a church, it's like falling in love with a woman. When you marry her and she starts having children and you have branches all over, in old age, two of you will be staring at each other without excitement. Go and ask a lot of the pastors, if they, even your big papas and mamas, if they had their way, they would have retired quietly and just be going to attend any church and come back. But because of the Nigerian spirit and the African spirit, the Paul Biya spirit of staying there until you die and only getting relevance by people around you, they will not retire, they will not rest. And so they are not enjoying their lives. Go and ask them. And in this generation where there is bashing from right, left, and center, I was watching President Tinubu like as I watched Buhari. What is Tinubu enjoying? Tinubu will have had a more comfortable life. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will have had a more comfortable life if he did not contest election, stayed in Lagos, build his businesses. He will just be traveling from place to place and just enjoying his wealth. And what is he enjoying? Stressing himself up and down. No, no. You make me a minister today. I think I should be older than Umahi. You make me a minister today, or he's slightly older than I am. Make me a minister today. I'll start doing press conferences, Coastal Road, run up and down, do this. No, this life is too short. It's too short, according to Seneca. It is because we waste our lives pursuing useless things. We don't spend time with ourselves. We don't spend time with God. We don't spend time on pursuing benefit for humanity. We don't spend time with those who matter to us. So sustainability, is this sustainable? And I told myself, no, I will do some things so that in old age, if I don't need to travel, I won't travel. Let me just share one thing with you that you don't realize. I love hotels. I love to stay in hotels. I admire their beds, the way they are dressed, the curtains, the effigy, the attention. But even when I am in the hotel and I enjoy the hotel, I found out that my energy level is not at rest. There's a little tension. And when I enter this room or this house with this shelf behind that inside your mind you are criticizing, me, I know what I'm doing. Inside this room that if you break into this house, you won't see any reasonable thing to steal. No reasonable thing. The only thing of value in this house is the television out there. My furniture, they are not pleasant to look at. There is nothing in this house. There are 8 bedrooms and 10 toilets. There is nothing in this house that is of value. That if you carry, I will feel bad. No. No. So when I enter this house, there's a kind of drop in energy level, that is tension level. I sleep better. I'm more relaxed. So all this up and down, up. No, 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 no. In fact, I I recently was thinking I'll build that where I'm building school on 47 acres. I'm going to build a place there where I can stay, rest, walk barefooted, create a canal, go there with hook and bait and drag fish out of the stream there, the ponds there. Use my hand to feel the hair of my goats, my sheep, pluck coconut, crack it, use it to soak gari. That's what I want to live. That's how I want to live. This nonsense urban area that I'm living in is useless. So now, not this young man. Life is either seen as created for enjoyment or seen as an investment. You either eat the seeds of your future now and go hungry later in old age, or plant them now and eat the fruits from the forest of your investments. Church people, sow seed, sow seed. I was telling my lawyer, I said, we're analyzing, one is a very rich man, an evangelist, a Christian that had a company, a construction company. He was everywhere in his church, everywhere, every program. They will call his name on radio, on TV, every banner, everywhere with the general overseer. I don't know what happened. Either he was not paid for his contracts or one thing happened. He seems to have gone down. They are no longer mentioning his name in the programs and all that and all that. And I told my lawyer that the problem with us and church is that we keep bringing money to church and they will spend the money on what does not yield dividends, what will not employ people, but that it is better sometimes to invest the money in social entrepreneurship that will yield dividends and create employment and will last longer. Because when you need help from the church is always in a position where they cannot help you, and you can't blame them. The church is not a cooperative society. Neither is it a deposit bank. No. And there are many people like you who need help. I know people who they carry the church on their heads. They didn't realize I will build my church. And in old age, they are frustrated. When they needed the church most, church couldn't perform. Not out of wickedness, but because they remember the parable of the Good Samaritan, the priest and the Levite. They crossed to the other side. You know why? They no get. Kosi konkon. They no get. Okpo itie. Ego adiri. Moral support. They no mema do anything. Iwe ro kakaka. Bo okpo akwene. And so they crossed. But the Good Samaritan journeyed. And the Bible says that he gave him an extra set of clothes and put him on a donkey and poured wine and this and bandage. The man was a businessman who planned for life and he was loaded. And he took him to an inn. He didn't take him to synagogue to pray. And he paid money. Go and check the value of that money. And he said that if it is not enough, when I'm coming back, I will pay. So I do a lot of things for humanity. In fact, we're going to register a foundation now. It is because I invested my resources in such a way that it is the fruit from the seeds I planted that I'm using to bless humanity. Oh, Dr. Apoki is not a giver. Dr. Apoki is not a this. Those who give us never lack. It is producers that don't lack. It is investors that don't lack. Go and look at those people. They're not better than me. Those ones who were talking. What they struggle for, soil their fingers for to get. I get it with holiness and righteousness and with comfort and with a celebrity status. In those days, in Delta in Nigeria and the South, People will put flags of nations that they have visited or nations where they have their branches. If I want to put, I was telling my wife, if I want to put flags, it will leave, we'll start putting them from my school. It will leave here to worry. I have mentorship groups in several nations. I have people from several nations who consult me. They know me in several nations. How many nations did I travel recently? I didn't carry money from Nigeria. It was sponsored from overseas as expenses. So, life, don't eat your seeds. Sow your seeds when you are young. Sow your efforts, your intelligence. You know how much I sell books. My videos, my son resigned from his work in Europe, a PhD holder, working for an Israeli firm who has done a lot of certification courses, won a lot of prizes in that company. He resigned. Before telling me, told his mother, he said, instead of me to be working 9 to 5 in somebody's company, sometimes working 12 hours, let me use that time to manage my father's lake of intellectual properties. Am I being proud? No. I'm just telling you the truth. If you like, you do your own. If you don't like, go kiss cow. I'm just stating the obvious. Imagine why I said I'm the richest man. Person when do I speak in English? My friends in Kenya, Mitchell Carpenter in Jamaica, Isa Ben in Rwanda will not understand what I'm saying. Dr. Motoko from Zimbabwe, currently in Mauritius, will not understand what I'm saying. Somebody whose son has a PhD, lives in his own apartment in Europe, resigned to manage his father's intellectual property. Is that father not the richest man in the world? And my grandchildren will inherit those intellectual properties. So, young man, you either go to Europe and work with your brawn, you either work with your brawn in Nigeria, you either run after politicians that will make you special advisor, make you SSA, and your tenure and your future is dependent upon the will of a politician, or you use your brain to create intellectual wealth. Look at how much Gege is earning. Look at Jerry Eze. There was a young man, somebody who is a content creator. He made more money than the owner of a TikTok. And so you laugh at somebody, is a content creator. Monkey, mumu, you no get sense. Those videos will be seen. There are some videos I did. They are generating revenue till date. There are books I wrote. You know, somebody, my son was so excited. Somebody bought a mug with "Bust You" or "Na You Sabi" from Amazon. He was so excited. He shared one of my videos and he showed me the dollars he made. So excited. People are consulting him from all over the world to manage their YouTube channels, how to grow it, and all that. It is from the experience he has gotten from managing me that he is applying. He's forming a company out of my brain. I'm a rich guy. I'm a rich father, man, from my brain. And so, use your youthful energy to write books, produce applications, sing songs, open small businesses, do things that can make you independent instead of shouting, I receive, Amen. If I told you to be typing amen, all of you will be typing amen. Shake your head. No, I can't shake head like this at this age, you know. So let me tell you something. There are 3 institutions that will take your energy. If it is getting too long, you can switch off. It's a lecture. There are 3 institutions that will take your energy. Number 1, politics. PDP, APC, ADC, obedient, go, 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 go. You're ready to fight each other because of politics. Politicians are cannibals. They eat each other. Look at Wike and PDP. Look at Sanusi and Tinubu. Look at Buba Galadima and whoever. Look at Wike and Fubara. Politicians, their primary interest is themselves because they suffer from a disease that if they are not in a position to intimidate people, to steal and to oppress people, they don't get relevance. A politician can't stay on his own and be quiet and be satisfied without attention and without intimidating people. All those police around them, all those siren, it gets into their heads. They can't live the way I'm living now. That I don't like no, want my privacy. Politician, anything they are saying, they don't believe in it. In fact, they see you as a fool and a tool to be used and discarded. The next group is the church. It's the church. A lot, politicians, church, and even family, you are like the casing of a bullet or a shell. You carry the explosive material, and then the trigger machinery will hit you. Boom! You will feel the pain. You provide the spark. You provide the implosion that will lead to explosion and propulsion. And then the head of the missile or the bullet will shoot off. And then you will drop where they fired you. Have you seen? Let me ask you a question. There was a protest recently in one church in Rumukurushi. The member said, no, we'll close this church down. We'll close the church. How can we have 5 pastors in a year? I'll do a video on that. Don't spend your energy fighting over another man's vision, fighting over pulpit, fighting over church you did not start. God is not resident in a church. He dwells in you. And you are God's workmanship created in Christ Jesus to do good works prepared for you in advance. Boy, this my phone is bigger than Polyneche's church. Polyneche's church is 120,000 seater. I have 155,000 subscribers here from all over the world. And so, no. I don't need to contend with my pastors in Church of God Mission. I don't need to fight with position. No, for position. No. I don't need to be angry with my Archbishop. No. I don't need to be angry with Bishop Feb. No. Or with my pastor here. No. There's one new one that has been transferred as a national presbyter. He's my friend. I've preached in his church in Lagos. He has not called me. I've not called him too. If he's very busy, I'm very busy. If he's a big boy, I'm a big boy. No, church does not make me. No, you would think I'm being proud. No, I'm just stating the obvious. Get common sense. Get common sense. Get common sense. Oh, somebody called me. Did they invite you for MegaCom, our big convention? I said no. But the Anglicans invited me to speak to 6,000 Anglican priests in Katol, in Owerri, from all over the former eastern region, Enugu, Ebonyi, Rivers, Cross River, Akwa Ibom, in Anambra, Imo, Abia. Well, see, praise. After that, that was on Thursday. I spoke on Saturday. I was in Ole to speak to 5,000 Anglican youths from all over Nigeria, and their fathers who are bishops and were calling me. Oh, you spoke to my children. We were watching you online. So my denomination was having their own convention. I was not invited, but I was invited elsewhere, and I was having a big convention. Womre na afokude ina nu him neku in rimfen parere. So don't spend energy. You fight with presbyter that is pressing you to make you bitter. You fight with your resident pastor. You fight with deacon. You fight with this. They're not giving you space to preach. You no get sense. The world is so large. There are ministries everywhere. Drug addiction is a problem. Face that. Out of school children is a problem. Face that. Widows are there. Face that. I was taking care of lepers. I was taking care of motherless babies home, children. I was going to prison. I was going to school. Me, to go and struggle pulpit with Bishop Edo Hasim. No! No! Now, let me ask you a simple question if you are not a wicked and hypocritical person. How many pastors have pastored you in your branch church? How many of them have you called since they transferred them away to know how they are faring? How many of your former pastors have you sent money to in recent times? Let me ask you one question. There were people who taught you in Sunday school, deacons and elders that followed you up when you were young, spent their energies in the branch church you attended. How many times have you called them to check on their welfare? There are many of them, pastors, who are having arthritis, having waist pain, having hypertension, having diabetes, having prostatic issues, having house issues, having problem with their cars, and because of their messages that they preach, some of their children did not aspire and they were not inspired, and so the children are not able to take care of them. How many times have you called them to check on them? I had an experience recently. I was in a place, a big pastor in one of the churches that, yes, can't remember, one of the founding fathers of that church or that built that church was in the church service. It was after a person like me that couldn't run church finished speaking that they called him. Yes! I went for my elder brother's, my cousin's 70th birthday. And the present pastor was, and as my denomination, was introduced every person. It was later he realized that the pastor who pastored that branch for 10 years, whose tenure that church was built, was there. It was later he recognized him. And a person like me, we no fit run church, we no fit pastor church. They called me up, recognized me before him who built that place. It was my elder brother, my cousin's 70th birthday. And I said, this is what I have been preaching. This is what I've been teaching. Man, know thyself. I went to preach in an Assemblies of God church along Fox Road towards Araria Market. Is it towards Araria Market or after Araria Market? Before Araria Market. And person like me, small boy like me, then let's welcome our guest preacher. I went there and preached. It was later the pastor said, our senior, our leader is here, our big man is here. Let's welcome CIC Okereke or CCC Okereke. Let's welcome him. CIC Okereke or CCC Okereke was pastor to Archbishop Benson Idahosa. Anytime Archbishop Benson Idahosa of blessed memory came to Aba, I know him, he's a man with humanity. We must go to 222 Clifford Road to go and pay homage to this CIC or CCC Okereke that was his pastor. If you know who I'm talking about, put it in the comment section. It is this man that pastored Archbishop Benson Idahosa that came to that church to worship because he had retired. He was district superintendent. They ignored him, introduced a person like me. I put it in my left hand that day so that I will not eat with it. I said, church people, don't expend your energy and your life there thinking you are serving God. God and his service exists outside denomination. It is in the nations. Exists outside congregation. It is in your generation. I've gone to do missionary work with my money in South Sudan, Ethiopia, Madagascar, Guinea, Liberia. What? Church didn't send me because I invested in my life and God rewarded me, and I used that reward to serve humanity. The next thing is family. This is where it gets interesting. Oh, I wrote here that when you are an elder in the church, you have not planned for your life, you become an artifact. You become an artifact. You know artifact? You know that Festac mask? You know it is treasured. You know the okoko that they return to Benin. You are an artifact. You are there. They just know that you are there. They respect you. Any person going to give offering will greet you before going. If you no plan for your life, after church service, you might trek home. When your house rent is due, now you sabi. If you are sick and your children can't take care of you, you will delete, and then the church will come for a big burial. To know your value for them that they have for you is in the church committee when they are planning for the burial. You will see wicked deacons that they should just do this now. He has children. Okay, I am annoying you. Now you sabi. In old age, if you have settled your wife and your children, you become a responsibility, not a priority. And you are not a priority. The same people you provided for, that you took care of, would ignore you. You are not a priority. Now, Watch every burial ceremony. I did a video of how I want to be buried. No, I don't like burials. Watch every burial of a successful old man. There is not the deep reflection of his values. No, it is a celebration of the privileges and status and wealth he has left behind. Just watch a video of some of these burials. They carry the man with, they were dancing up and down. Let the man go and rest. There's a stupid one in Ghana now. They will sit the man up, do a coffin like a car is driving, and put cigarette in his mouth. One stupid human being in Ghana, I saw him, he took cigarette from the lips of a dead man, puffed it, and put it back. They should do something, And so, you see them, they are dancing. Dancing. You will see the following days. They will drink. I saw an old man that dug well for me at Efronto. His house had no curtain. His feet were swollen. When he died, I never knew he had children. His children came. I counted the canopies. I counted 10 canopies. They put 4 cousin wine, drinking, popping. That man that died. They were trying to portray their image and relevance in the sight of their friends that they are indebted to because they've gone to drink there too. They didn't care for this man. He wouldn't have died early. They will drink, they will dress, buy one expensive material wear. But when they were coming to visit you when you were alive, they don't dress well to come and see you. You can wear shorts and dress anyhow. And then dancing and then debauchery. You see comedians, they'll be dancing. A human being died. Maybe they also died empty. Because if I want to plan for my burial, there will be my videos, these messages will be screened. You just come there, you watch, you screen. Nobody's going to preach. They're screened. When they finish, you go home. Nobody's going to give you drinks. Buy your drinks as they are coming. You go home. No band is going to play. What are you dancing for? So, when last did you call your father? When last did you call your father? Even with social media, WhatsApp. When last did you send something to him on Father's Day? If you are not a hypocrite, frankly speaking, when you call your father and you call your mother, which call is longer? There was a man somewhere around me here. When the son comes, they will give him some money. They'll say, give this bread to mama when she comes back. Like that, like that, like that. One of the days, the man was hungry. He opened the bread. There was money inside. Money, more than what they gave to him. That's how we are. That's how we are. Disposable. That's how we are. One thing old men don't teach their children is that in old age, people become a source of stress. Doctor, I want to come and see you one-on-one. No, you are going to stress me. The time I have is shorter than the one I have spent. I need to use it for myself. I need to use it for humanity. One-on-one. What are you coming to one-on-one me for? And we put a fee. If you want to discuss with me one-on-one, you pay. You want to call me, you pay. My friend was telling me he traveled to go and woke up early, went to preach in his branch church, And after preaching, he did not rest on time. And then visitors started coming. I think he went to preach again. His blood pressure went up. No, we need visitation, but it should be at our request. You come. And the tragedy is that nobody, they'll be seeing you see me like this, the body no dey as e dey before. I am not as strong as before. The last video you watched, you saw how I drove around how many states? From Delta to Abia to Rivers through Abia to Enugu, then back through Anambra to Delta in 1 week. And I preached in all these places. I can't do that any longer. And so, people want to turn you in old age to a solution provider for their problems, financial problems, people who misuse their opportunities. The son of a prominent medical doctor called me. There's no food in the house. He told me, what happened? Yeah, I resigned from my job. I'm doing ministry. Called me. I sent him one of my videos. He abused the hell out of me. Abused me. Then I whipped him too. You know me now. I whipped him. You had opportunity. Your father was a medical doctor. My own father was a refuse collector in the same town. You messed up your opportunity. Then you want to know. In the parable of the foolish and wise virgins, I don't give you my oil so that I can be in darkness. I know those to help. And so, they will bring problems to you that you were not there when they started the problems. They didn't discuss it with you. They will go into investment adventures and they will run into problems. You come and call me. No, I'm unavailable. And I don't understand they hear on our music. Our business is down. Can we send our child to your school on scholarship? You think I'm a fool? When you had money, which school was your child attending? Now that you don't have money, you want to bring your child to my school. And I didn't answer. Then so I called you. I said, am I owing you? Why are you talking to me? As if I'm owing you. If all those who mismanage their businesses bring their children to my school on scholarship, how can I pay my teachers? You are not as strong as before. And you must be very careful how you manage yourself. It is those that you didn't spend much time on, much money on, that will spend their time and their money on you in old age. So, potentiate, mentor people all over the world. In Switzerland, Esosa Basel left his house for me to stay. Took me around. Took me on a boat cruise. Marcus Ekure took me on a boat cruise in Glasgow. Roosevelt, Obirefoju, took me out. Mitaire took me out. Barrister Okea put me in Dakota Hotel. I stayed there with Bonner Boy. Even though I know you no see me, make you no be say una the things they see me. But I stayed there. Mike Oka sent a taxi from Liverpool to come and carry me. Like that. People I didn't spend my energies on. Thank God for the kind of children I have. Thank God Dr. Ofoma will always discuss business with me every morning. Thank God for Dr. Mimi. And thank God for, I say, thank God for my daughter that is managing our school. But many people in old age don't have that privilege. Have you noticed that your grandchildren naturally love you more than your children? In your children, you are a responsibility. Your love is conditional. But for your grandchildren, it is innocent love. You are a symbol. You are grandpa. And that's why you saw me, I carry my grandson dancing with him. His love for me is innocent. There's no string attached. And they too are vulnerable, and I have a responsibility. A righteous man will leave an inheritance for his children's children. Each of my grandchildren born in Europe, they pay $1,000 into their account. Each of my children. And you see, recently my granddaughter that won an award, I gave her 2 plots of land valued at 5 million. When she is 18 and she wants to go to medical school, we can sell that. That's 10 years from now, and let it be a seed for her to move forward. Your children come to you with entitlement mentality. Your wife comes to you with entitlement mentality. Your grandchildren come to you with innocence. Grandpa. Now, you are the richest man in the world if you are not seeking societal validation, but you are focused on the pursuit of your purpose, and you have a good name, and you have a relationship with God. Because one with God is a majority. A good name is better than riches. I hope you learned something. I'm Dr. Charles Apoki. I have a webinar coming up in a few days from now in October. It's free. Free! It's my own contribution. I'm going to release some mysteries there. I have properties for sale. I have books for sale. Admissions are still on in our schools, in Okokoko, in Ugeli. I'm building a tertiary institution. If you want to partner with me, let me know. Send a message to +234 80 21 21 92 62. I am the area grandfather. I will tell you what your father didn't tell you. God bless you.